Hey, it's Monica with It's Just Sewing, and today is obviously all about pillows. I'm going to show you how to make this adorable envelope style pillow that is super easy, and not only that, it is quick. You can make it in less than 20 minutes. There's absolutely no zipper required, and the best part, I'm going to show you a technique to save you money when you're making them. So stay with me, and I'm going to show you how it's done. Okay, I want to start by talking about supplies. So I spent the majority of my money on my decorative fabric on the front. As we all know, most people only look at the front of your pillows, so why spend the money for the entire wraparound? So I spent the majority of my money here, and then I am using a material called Osnaburg. Now you can get this at your craft store, but if you can't find it, canvas, denim, toweling, terry cloth. There are so many other options that are far less expensive. Muslin would be an option as well. And if you find those, you'll notice that they're a lot less expensive, and it really drives down the price of each individual pillow. So it makes pillow making so much more affordable. So I'm going to be working with a 20-inch pillow form, and for that I cut my front fabric 20.5 inches by 20.5 inches. So I gave myself an extra ½ inch for a seam allowance on all sides. Now I have a list of dimensions and measurements for every pillow form, from a 16-inch square to a 24-inch square, all on a link below in our post. So the first thing we have to do is prep our backing, all right? So I'm going to take my front out of the way, and what I want to do is grab one of my pieces of Osnaburg, and on just one side that's 20.5 inches long, I'm going to roll that down, and I'm going to do it about 1 inch. So if you have a sewing gauge, these things are fantastic, and it's really, really helpful to keep it consistent. So I'm going to go ahead and roll it down. And I'm going to hit it with the iron in just a moment, but I'm going to actually double roll. So we can stick a little flat head flower pin in there because they stay out of the way from the iron. They're long enough, and the flat head helps. And I'm going to just go ahead and pin this all the way down. Once I get a double hem here, it's going to hug in all of those extra threads and frays when I sew it down with my sewing machine. So let's go ahead and get these prepped, and then I'm going to hit them with an iron, and I'll meet you back here in a second. All right, so I went on over to the iron and I gave a really nice press, and I'm going to take it over to my sewing machine, and I want to sew all the way down this edge, and I'm going to use a decorative stitch because what I found is if I use a decorative stitch, I tend to not see any mistakes. So that's always great, right? So let's go ahead and do that. For my decorative stitch that I'm going to sew on down, I'm just going to use a nice little gentle wave, but you could always use a zigzag or, any of the other cute decorative stitches that you have on your sewing machine. And you can always do a straight line too. Now that I've finished sewing my decorative stitch all the way down the back side of my opening, what I want to do is assemble everything and get it ready to actually sew. So let's do this. I'm going to go ahead and take one panel. Notice I have the decorative fabric facing pretty side up, okay? That's really important. And then I lay my panel pretty side facing down. And for us, the pretty side means there's no seam exposed, no fold. The fold is on the back side. So just a nice decorative stitch, which is hard to see because we use the same color thread. Okay, so we're gonna lay that right down, line it up through here, and then lay the other one down on the opposite side. And what you'll find is that you have a nice overlap of about 4 to 5 inches, and that is so that when the pillow is in there, the pillow backing doesn't come apart and you see the pillow form, because I just really don't like how that looks. So you want to have a nice generous overlap or flap in the back, and that will make sure that it stays hidden. Okay, so let's take our pins, and we're going to go ahead and pin all the way around, and then it's time to sew. With my machine set back to a straight stitch, I want to start in the corner with about a ½ inch seam allowance, and make sure not to sew over your pins. Go ahead and take that out. And what I want to do is go ahead and start sewing, and don't forget to back stitch at the beginning. Ooh. When you get to the corners, just slow down. Remember to keep your needle down, lift your presser foot, turn and pivot the fabric, and then keep on holding, and that holds your stitch. All right, so we're getting ready to line up with where our stitch line started. And so once we meet up with our previous stitch line, we just go ahead and give it a nice back stitch. There we go. And now it's time to clean up those inseams. After you're done sewing the perimeter of your pillow, what you want to do is clean up any excess threads, the frays that are around the edges. Now, I've already done this using pinking shears, and there are many ways that you can clean up raw edges, but I used pinking shears because it's the perfect tool for a beginner. And what you want to do is just cut right along. Now, pinking shears have that little zigzagged edge, and what's really cool about that is those zigzags prevent fraying. So you want to go ahead and cut all the way along the perimeter, but just make sure you don't cut your stitch line. All right, I just finished stuffing my pillow and I think it looks fantastic. I am so pleased with it. Make sure when you are stuffing your pillow that you always poke out those edges because boxy corners always look best. Now, remember, I have the dimensions for anything from a 16 to a 24-inch pillow on our website and a link down below, as well as a link to show you how to clean up those inseams so that it looks just as beautiful on the inside as it does on the outside. Now, check us out at itsjustsewing.com for more no-sew, low-sew, and simple sew projects, giveaways, and loads of inspiration. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for watching. Now go forth and decorate. We'll see you soon. Bye.